Hey, it's me, Tammy B, and this is my review for How to Get Away with Murder. Alright, so we are in Season 3, Episode 7, titled Call It Mother's Intuition. So, we know that it was titled that because this week the case was about a mother. So there was an older mother who was kind of like on her deathbed a little bit. She had 2 sons and a daughter, and come to find out she was being poisoned with antifreeze. So they were trying to figure it out if it was the brothers or the sister and the brothers, or who was poisoning the mother. Annalise and her team were hired to represent the children to prove that the children did not do it. And so far everything was going cool. They were just trying to make the kids seem like the loving kid. They loved their mother. They couldn't see, how anyone would do this to their mother. But the more and more Annalise and the crew interviewed them, they came to find out that the kids really did hate the mother. She would cuss them out. She would talk about how they're useless, talk about their looks, talk about their relationships. So she was a really, really bad mother. She was basically an old, bitter woman. And she was just pure evil. And the only reason that they stuck around is because they didn't want to get left out of her will. So, y'all, they try to find who could have did it. If it was the butcher, if it was somebody at a restaurant she was mean to. Yada yada yada. They ended up finding an email from a butcher, and they were gonna say it was the butcher who they bought the food from, but then the butcher was dating the daughter, so they couldn't use that because they wanted to get the daughter off, y'all. So long story short, y'all, they come to find out that the mom poisoned herself. So I really didn't get the point of that, honestly. To be honest, I just fell off the story because the mother was so evil. But the mom basically poisoned herself. I don't know why. She was just that manipulative that she just basically poisoned herself. So I don't know what that means. Was the kids gonna still get some money or not, y'all? I don't know. The only good thing that came out of that was we got to see Laurel take the lead. And at first she was all fumbling over her cards or whatever, but she finally got the mom to admit, hey, she knew that the kids was joking about killing her, so she basically framed them or whatever. But I just still don't get why. I guess the point was to say, your kids are so ungrateful. You do all of this stuff to them and they got the nerve to joke about killing you. Everything you do is for your kids, but then they still all mad at you or whatever. So I guess that was the point of her doing it. And then I guess that's what's happening with Annalise and the kids too. Okay, so see, talking it out makes it better. Anyway, let's jump on over to the little bitch session, you guys. So this is what I call it, or this is what we call it in our crew. Sometimes when you just in a crew and it's just tension, and sometimes y'all just need to let everything out, process it, and move forward, So some people call it a lemon squeeze or whatever, but we call it a bitch session. And so basically Annalise just sat in the middle of the room and let the Keating Five just say everything they ever wanted to say to her. So basically Laura was like, oh, I feel like I'm your puppet, da 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 da. Michaela was like, she hate her. Michaela feels like Annalise pimped her out to Caleb. And then Michaela feels like even though she hate her, for some reason she still wants to please her and do good or whatever. And I kind of agree with Annalise and was like, how I'm not in charge of who you spread your legs to. And Michaela was like, oh, you wanted me to. Now, I do remember a scene where Annalise was all like, oh, go use your womanly woes. But I don't think she was saying sleep with Caleb. I think she was saying flirt with him or get what you know. I think it's Michaela. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, you decided to actually sleep with him. And the thing is, I thought Michaela actually liked Caleb. So I didn't think that Michaela did that just to do a favor for Annalise, but I guess so. Or maybe she's just saying that now that the relationship didn't work out. Wes didn't say anything, and I guess because he shot her, so he you already know how I feel about her. But the funny thing is, I don't know. What does that mean? Do you love her or do you hate her? Or you just deal with her and it's just it is what it is? So I don't know. The fact that he didn't say nothing, I don't know really what that means. Connor's thing was he just feel like if they would have went to the police in the beginning after Sam, then they wouldn't be as crazy as they are or whatever. So I understand that, but it is kind of sad to feel like they all feel like they can't function in regular life, so that does kind of suck. Um, President Hargrove, you guys. So President Hargrove was at the AA meeting, and Annalise went ahead and walked in. You know, she got to go 3 times a week now, right? So we hear the story that President Hargrove was drinking a lot after work. You know, she's a successful president. She hangs out, go to the bar. She went to go pick up her kids or whatever. And then after, when she picked up the kids, she was so drunk she pulled over on the road, left the car running. The kids eventually got out. I guess they didn't know that she was asleep or not, so they wanted help. And she basically ended up getting her kids taken, you guys. And she was being real understanding. She was saying that her kids are, you know, upset with her and they have the right to be. You know, mom kind of uprooted their life or whatever. And then she talked about her being angry, just saying like, hey, you know, at the end of the day, that was major. You know, I got my kids taken. I put their life in danger. I put my life in danger. That was a real mistake. But she was like, at the end of the day, I'm a mother. You know, I birthed them. You know, you feed them, you clothe them, you take care of them day in and day out, and then you make one mistake. Granted, it was a major mistake. Granted, it's a life or death situation, but now the kids hate her. They don't even want to talk to her. Like, that one mistake made her the worst mother ever after all the years of her providing and being a president and being a strong, black, successful, phenomenal woman. And that one mistake just has her in court, has her marriage ruined, has her relationship with her kids ruined. So that was real deep, you guys. That was, I really like that story. I honestly wish they would have delved in it a little bit more, but that is so true. Just one thing could just have your life turn upside down. So that was really interesting. So President Hargrove and Annalise kind of talked in the end. Annalise was kind of being snake, but then Annalise was like, you know, my bad, I'm just hungry. Da-da-da-da-da. And I kind of like that scene because even though Annalise was being harsh, you know, at the end she kind of softened up. So it do seem like they gonna kind of be friends. And I kind of like that because all this time I've been saying, like, I wanted them to get along. Now, I know some people are saying they think they're gonna get together, but I personally don't see it. Like, I don't know. I don't see them getting together, but I do like the idea of them being friends. Conover and Oliver had sex in Michaela bed. Oliver had his third date with the guy he'd been dating on the internet. They was about to have sex. Oliver told him he was positive, and the guy was just like, hey, you know, I get it and I understand, and you know, I whatever, but I'm just not ready for all that commitment, that relationship. So he left. Oliver went and got drunk, and then he popped up at Connor's house / Michaela's house, because Connor is sleeping on Michaela's couch. And Oliver was honest. He was like, look, I know I'm sad, I know I'm depressed, and I know I'm drunk, and that don't mean I should just come over here and you should just take me back, but I do miss you, and I do feel kind of sad right now, and you know, I kind of want to have sex. Now, in Oliver's defense, I feel like he was very cognizant of his actions. It's one thing to go to somebody's house drunk and don't tell them like, hey, I just got dumped and I'm sad, and just use them as rebound sex. But Oliver, even though he was drunk, he was cognizant of the fact like, hey, I could just be sad because I met somebody who said no to being with me because I'm positive. But I can appreciate the fact that Oliver was aware of that and still chose to go over there and then present it to Connor, and Connor had the right to take it or leave it. Now, Conover, oh, that should be their name, right? So Connor do love him, so I think Conover was cognizant enough to say, like, even though this is not how I wanted to get back with you, I do still love you, so hey, let's do it. So I kind of thought it was cool how they talked it out, and then they gonna have sex on Michaela bed, and Oliver was like, is Michaela gonna mind? And then Oliver was like, it's Michaela, of course you will. Now, I'm sorry, I wouldn't have been here for that, y'all. Don't have sex on my bed. You already in my house. Like, y'all could have sex on the floor. Y'all could have sex in the bathroom. Like, I just do not want nobody extra balls on my bed. Like, I just can't. So I would have been, I mean, we know Michaela's a little bougie, but I would have been in total agreement on her on that. Like, whatever, y'all. Okay, y'all can make up if y'all want to, but hey, Oliver got his own apartment. Why y'all didn't go over there? Frank visits Bonnie, you guys, and when he walked up, she was like, oh, Laurel must not have been available. Y'all, I was rolling because he sure did go to Laurel's house first, and then he saw Laurel having sex with Wes, so he left. And I was like, yeah, I like Bonnie for her smartness. You know, if I don't like her for her weakness, her smartness is cool, because she was so on point or whatever. But I gathered that Bonnie did love Frank a little bit because she did risk her relationship with Annalise for Frank. But when Frank ditched her, she just found a way to go back. So that scene did show me that Bonnie do kind of like Frank, but she know that Frank must don't love her equally or whatever, and he don't want to do what Bonnie's saying to get back. So I guess they just not gonna be together. Wes and Laurel. Nate warns Wes like, hey, watch out. And I was wondering why he was doing that. Do he really care about Wes enough to just be like, hey, just watch your back, young fellow black brother? Or is Nate secretly still mad at Annalise for everything? Getting him fired, the stuff with his wife, now calling him a bitch like 2 weeks ago. So I wonder, is he just putting bugs in Wes' ear and he gonna do something with Annalise, or get back at her? So Wes tells Laurel that he always liked her. Really? No, I don't like that. She was like, I always thought you was out of my league. No, Wes, like somebody else. And then at the end, they were all talking, and Laurel gonna tell Wes, oh, I love you. And you could tell that it was genuine because it just rolled off her tongue when she was saying goodbye. But Wes even paused a little bit. She even paused, and then she hung up the phone. And so Wes technically didn't say it back. And then soon as she turned around, guess who was right there, y'all? Frank. And he was like, really? And that was scary as heck. But oh my gosh, I was thinking the same thing too. Really? Like, you love him? I don't know, y'all. I'm not really here for it, but they seem to really like each other. And so when Laurel woke up 2 weeks later at the hospital all frantic with a tube in her throat, she wrote down on the paper, Wes. So what does that mean? Does that mean Wes is the daddy or what? So then we pan to Wes. So boom, that's how we find out who not dead. So Wes not dead, y'all. Wes down to the police station and he talking to them. He like, I want a deal. Tell me a deal and I tell you what you want on Annalise. So sorry, y'all. So I don't know. What is he snitching on? Wes, why are you a snitch? Or is this all a plan? And he looked over the forums himself. He was like, no, y'all didn't write this enough. We need immunity. So I wonder, is he talking about immunity for himself? Or if he mean immunity for everybody. So I don't know. Then we jump over into another scene. We see Annalise all down to the jail cell, you guys, and her lawyers come in, and she like, not the lawyers but the police, he was like, just give me the charges. And once again they was like, you want a lawyer? They asked Wes too, you want a lawyer? But they lawyers themselves, so they can look all over the paper themselves. So Annalise like, nah, just tell me the charges. So they charging Annalise with first degree murder and arsenic, and they was like, oh, it was from an anonymous source or whatever. So I don't know. So that is what happened. So pretty good episode. So that's how we got to see that Wes is alive, you guys. So now we don't know where Connor is. We don't know where Frank is. We don't know where Simon Drake is. Or it could be a new person that they find over the next 2 weeks. I don't know why I keep saying 2 weeks. And I think I'm saying 2 weeks because they keep saying at the bottom 2 weeks later or 2 weeks earlier. But because it's 5 people, I feel like maybe I think it's about 5 episodes left. I feel like it could be more 5 weeks before we find out who it is. But hey, if we only going off the Keating 5, I don't know if Frank count as a Keating 5, but if we only got going off the Keating 5, then technically we only got to find out if Connor is left. So hey, I don't know. So basically we about to find out, long story short, So anyway, that was How to Get Away with Murder, you guys. Season 3, episode 7. Call it Mother's Intuition. I was here for it. I kind of like how the fact that Annalise had the bitch session with the kids earlier, and then they got to represent that old lady who hate her kids. So it was kind of paralleling, like, oh my gosh, Annalise kind of used that, like, oh, I know just what it's like to have some children who you do everything for. Because Annalise swear everything she do is for the kids. And that's what she told them too, the Keating 5. Like, oh, you guys are complaining, da-da-da-da-da, but everything I did to protect you, it was to help you out of a cage. Asher killed somebody, I helped cover that up. Wes killed somebody, I helped cover that up. So she claimed it's out of love, even though it's twisted. And I guess that's what the mother in the case, she was like, she talked crap about her kids, but she still love them. She had them in her will. She gonna, do what she can or whatever. So I guess that was the parallel for that. So after Annalise sat there and took all the dirt that the Keating 5 threw at her, Michaela was the worst. Michaela was going off. She was not mincing her words on her little portion or whatever. But after that, Annalise just stood up and was like, all right, go ahead and regroup, and I'll see you tomorrow. And see, that's how it goes. See, a lot of people can't do that. Sometimes somebody throws something at you, you want to say something hurtful back, but that's what a bitch session is. Sometimes it's just let people get stuff off their chest and you move on, because in a lot of cases you can't not be together anymore. Or I mean, if you just friends and don't see each other, yeah, y'all could fight and then never talk to each other. But in these cases, they work together, they go to school together. Sometimes you're in a relationship with that person, sometimes you're locked in a house with that person. Whatever the reason you guys have a bitch session is, so I could appreciate the maturity in that, but I know some people probably couldn't take it, whether they were on Annalise's side or one of the Keating 5 people. But hey, that release I think was good. They need to say what they gotta say and move on, so that was really cool. That was pretty much my favorite part of it. Annalise did tell them that Eve left and moved. So they were like, dang, you just been lying to us this whole time. You can never tell the truth. And that's true, Annalise. Like, she do lie a lot. But, sometimes as a mother, you be telling your kids crying about something, they're scared about something. You just tell them something to appease them and move on with their life. So I could see it from their side. Like, hey, we grown. We don't need those appeasing. Just tell the truth. But I could see it from the motherhead side. Like, oh, just keep you guys calm or whatever, because stress is not good for you. The only thing I wish would have happened, you guys, I wish Bonnie would have told her side. I really wish they would have let Bonnie get a session in. But Bonnie probably ain't gonna say nothing in front of the kids. But I really would like to hear Bonnie little bitch session or whatever. And I still want to know the exact time point and where Bonnie was when she met Annalise. That's still not 100% clear, so anyway, so that was it. Pretty good episode, How to Get Away with Murder. And yeah, so I guess we'll see what happens, you guys. So you know what's up. Give me a thumbs up on this video and go ahead and check me out on Twitter at TammyB_. You guys, it is Friday. That's my new favorite day of the week. So it's November already, you guys. Once again, I said I was gonna start a diet November 1st and just go hard until Thanksgiving, but I haven't did it. The only day I ate good was yesterday because I worked out, and then I only got some vegetable soup, which was nasty, by the way. I never go into this Chinese food place on Manchester and Figueroa. I should have known that just by them streets, huh? But anyway, so I was good yesterday, and I got my little shake today, my little meal replacement shake, so I'm doing good. But girl, please, I can already taste the nachos that I plan on getting when I clock out. So another week bites the dust, but I don't know. So I mean, it is what it is. As long as I at least maintain. I just don't want to gain them pounds back. But I wanted to lose more. But hey, at this point, I'm just like, hey, as long as I can maintain or whatever. But let me get out of here. It's hot. I don't know if you can see me glistening a little bit or whatever. So I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and I will see you soon. All right, talk to you later. Bye.